there. We are going to start in a second, but this will be a mixed level class using blocks a lot. So I'm going to try to use the blocks a lot, but if you don't want to use the blocks and you want to ditch them, that's fine. The practice will be challenging, but more on the simple side. Any variations that you need to take, or if you feel like you want to take child's pose at any point, feel free to do that. There'll be different variations. You're free to take any of the variations that you want, but you really need to honor your own insights, because yoga is about you doing your practice the way that you need to. So first thing you want to do is you just want to soften your heart center, soften your mind a little bit, and allow yourself to drop into the present moment. So anything that doesn't need to be in this space, you start to let it go. So you use your awareness to practice. So awareness is freedom from non-essential self-limiting thoughts. So through awareness, you start to notice any thoughts that are non-essential or self-limiting as you practice. And so you have plenty of time to work with that stuff as you practice. If you fall off balance and you have a big reaction to that, you watch that. You don't have to judge it, change it, or anything. You just become the silent watcher as you practice. And you try to let go of preconceived notions about your path, about how things are supposed to go. So just come into your body and soften from the crown of the head down through the sit bones, and just relax there. Sometimes just relaxing can take a lot of concentration, which is the good news, because that's one of the 8 limbs of yoga. Feel yourself in your body. And find your breath coming in right at the tip of the nose, breathing in from the tip of the nose, back of the ribs and into your belly. Feel the crown of the head just lifting up a little bit. Pause here, long spine. And hold the spine pretty long today as you exhale. So the pelvic floor draws in and up a little bit on the exhale. Inhale, tip of the nose, through the back of the throat, back of the ribs and belly. And pause, feel the shoulders on the back. And exhale all the breath out. So you're engaged, you're lifting, and then one more time, but you're not tightening. Inhale, tip of the nose, back of the throat, back of the ribs, and draw up and pause. Let your gaze drop in a little bit toward the midbrain. And then as you exhale this time, just start to feel the weight drop down through the sit bones and start to round back so that you're coming into a flexed spine. I'll turn sides so you can see me. So it's a flexion here. And then from here, rock forward on the sit bone. So you tip forward and arch up. Inhale, stretch. And open the throat. And then draw the navel in. And feel your pelvis rock back. And you look to your navel. So it's like, I could say it's like cat-cow sitting. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, soften back. And you just want to be as soft and relaxed as you can be as you practice. Inhale, stretch. Just enjoy moving and breathing and coming into the present moment. And exhale back. And again, twice more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, coming forward. Exhale, rock back. Look to your navel and roll up to sit. And just start to roll the rib cage around, front, side, back, and around. Front, side, back, and around. Front, side, back, and around. One more time. Front, side, back, and around. Getting to all sides of the movement of the spine. Reverse and around to the other side. And around. Let your head react to it. So maybe your head's moving, maybe it's not. Twice more around, just roll around and roll around. This will be a moving practice, but just pausing in the movement. And one more time, and just come back up to sit. Take a minute to turn your head over one shoulder. I'm turning to the right, but you can turn either way. And stay here. So you just stretch the neck by looking way over the shoulder. keep the gaze in that direction and just tip your head down. So you stretch sort of the back of the neck a little bit and just hang out here. And then let your face come forward. Still let your ear hang toward the shoulder. So you're opening the side of the neck here. Roll the shoulder blades down a little bit. And then start to come back to center. And then turn your head to the other side. And you might feel tightness, but keep really just in that watchful place without being in conceptual mind or labeling it. And then tip your chin down. So you stay open around all that's changing. And just stretch there, soften, relax. And then start to bring your face forward. Still the ears tipping down toward the shoulder. And roll the shoulder blade down a little bit. Tip the chin up if you need to. Sometimes just tipping your chin up will change it. So maybe you have to do that. So you're starting to feel all the meridians opening little by little and then come up lifting through the crown of the head. Now we're just going to come around into child's pose, and you can always use the blocks or not. I'm going to use the blocks. You can rest your forearms out over the blocks here if you like, just hanging out here. If you're here and you want to bend your elbows on the blocks and stretch the hands back, you can work this way. You want to have the elbows fairly close. If it's digging into the bones of the elbows, adjust. Like I have to bring mine together a little closer, it feels better. And then once you're there, let go. Complete the exhales. As you inhale, feel the back of the ribs expand. So you want to breathe way down into the lower lobes of the lungs. And then from here, start to come up. And as you come up, just bring your hands to the blocks. And you can adjust and move your hands as you work. Sink between the shoulder blades. Inhale, stretch up through the chin. And then round, lift from the navel, tailbone, low back, rounds, come up to the fingertips. Puff up between the shoulder blades as you reach your hips back, exhaling. Inhale, round up. And walk your hands forward a little bit. Sink between the shoulder blades, the elbows can bend. Either stay here or slide forward, straightening the legs. Lifting the chest a little bit. Inner thighs are up toward the ceiling and the tailbone slightly lifted. So you're not just pushing down. It's a little different than when we do a yin class. This is more engaged. Come all the way back, walk the hands to the back of the block and stretch back to downward dog. And reach back so you're way back on the edge of the block. Stretch here. Neutral spine. Reach through the outer edges of the hips. Feel the outer edges of the feet and the mound of the big toe. Center of the heel. 2 more breaths. And then let your knees bend. Keep the toes tucked. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, round. Keep the toes tucked. Sitting back toward the heels. If it's a lot in the knees, don't go quite as far back. Stretching your toes. Hugging the ankle bones in just a little bit. And relax. 1 more breath. Direct the breath and direct your mind, and then come up to the hands again. Release the toes. Tailbone up, head up. Either stay here or forward to up dog. Stretch. Press down through the tips of the toes and bend the knees. And tuck the toes under 1 more time. This time widen the feet way out. Walk the feet forward and stretch the arms way out over the blocks. If you need to keep the knees bent, keep them bent. Let the elbow go a little bit. Just hang out here. Relax through the outer feet. And still keep a little weight through the mound of the big toe. Soften
You don't, you can kind of let your ribs go here, softening a little bit more through the thoracic spine, or you can draw the bottom rib in a little bit, and that'll bring a little more open quality through the kidney area in the back. One more breath. Now from here, walk your feet forward, stretch out, lift the tip of the tail, bend the knees if you need to, exhale over, and hold the elbows and hang, or hands to the block, soften the knees if you need to, make sure the head is free. You can say yes with the head, no with the head, but let the head hang. 2 more breaths, relax, and relax, and bend the knees a little deeper, and come up to the fingertips, or the hands to the knees, stick your tailbone out a little bit, and come all the way up. Inhale, stretch up, see the thumb. Exhale, hands to prayer, forward fold, let the head go. Inhale, out with the chest, step back or hop back. Exhale, the knees to the floor, and round back, exhale. So we start to do what we did before, taking the breath into it. Inhale, lead with the heart, either here or up facing, stretch. Downward dog, bend the knees, hands to the back of the blocks, and stretch back. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Relax into it, 3. Try to notice everything, 4. You can gaze to your navel. That's one of the dristies, and sometimes that helps open the kidneys. Inhale, 1 more breath. Inhale, bend the knees. You can lift up to the balls of the feet a little bit, hop or walk forward, and extend out. Long neck, long back. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, out with the heart center, and come all the way up, stretch up. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, gazing from the nose to the thumb, and exhale, just follow the hands down, coming through prayer, neutral spine, hands down. Exhale. Inhale, stretch out. The blocks can be higher if you need to. Come back to plank. Exhale, knees to the floor, and round back, exhaling. If you're okay here and you're okay doing the full chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, you can inhale up, forward, bent knees, toes under, downward dog. 5 breaths, 1, inhale, 2, 3, inhale, 4, inhale, 5, inhale, bend your knees, hop or walk forward, and stretch out, long spine. Exhale, over, inhale, out and up, keep the knees a little bent. Exhale, hands down. A couple more times. Inhale, gaze from the nose to the thumb. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees a little bit to keep a long spine. If that's better for you, for me it is. And then exhale, over. Inhale, lengthen out, long spine, or hands up, knees can bend. Hop or walk back. If you're hopping, you just go straight down. Exhale. You can bend the knees here too, or go back to child's pose. Inhale, up, facing stretch, and bend the knees, or come up, change your toes, and come back. Exhale, depending on your practice. So you can walk the feet here in a little bit. 1, inhale, 2. Sometimes I like to work really short and wide. 3. Inhale, 4. So kind of honor your own insight. Sometimes short and wide is better. Inhale, 5. Not always. Inhale, bend the knees, hop or walk forward. Of course, if you're close, it won't be much of a hop stretch. Exhale. Inhale, out with the chest. Coming up. Exhale. Inhale, inhale. See your thumb. Exhale, exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, inhale. Lengthen the spine. Hop or walk back. Exhale, exhale. Lowering down or bent knees or all the way through chaturanga. Inhale, stretch. Downward dog. Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to start to create a rhythm. Inhale, 5. Inhale, bent knees, look forward, hop or walk forward, and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, out, and feel free to bend the knees. Exhale, the hands down. Surya Namaskar B. Bend the knees. Inhale, stretch up so you come through a chair. Hands to prayer. Exhale, over like you did. Relax. Let go. Inhale, out, long spine. Hop or walk back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up facing. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, the right foot steps forward to low lunge. Either stay here. If it's a lot in the knee, just stay here. Lift the navel or stretch the arms forward. And then come right back down to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, or knees to the floor, bending a little bit. Inhale, up facing. Downward dog, bent knees are straight, stretching back. Left leg forward to your lunge. Draw the tailbone back. Inhale, stay here, or arms out by your ears reach. Come right back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, or the very beginning, child's pose. Inhale, up facing, or cat-cow. Downward dog, bent knees are straight, and stretch back. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more breath. Inhale, 5. Inhale, hop or walk forward, and lengthen. Exhale, over. Bent knees coming up. Inhale, see your toes. See your thumb, this time stretch. Hands down through prayer. Inhale, bent knees, toes, nose, thumb. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lead out with the chest. Hop or walk back. Chaturanga, or knees to the floor, or child's pose. Inhale, up facing. You can always step the feet across. Lift the hips. Downward dog. Exhale, or bent knees. Right foot comes forward. Inhale here, or arms forward and then up. Come right back down. The hands can stay on the blocks the whole time. Exhale, chaturanga, or knees down. Inhale, up facing, stretch. Downward dog. And again, you can bend the knees to come back. Left foot comes forward. Inhale here, or here, or continue up with the arms. Come right back down, or you stay here the whole time. Come back to plank, chaturanga, or bent knees, or your child's pose. Inhale, stretch up, lift the tail, downward dog, bent knees, or straight, reach back. 1, 2, 3, 4, reach back, look to the navel, 5. Inhale, bent knees, look forward, hop or walk, stretching out with the spine. Exhale, over, bent knees, toes, see your thumb, stretch, look down the nose, see your toes. Toes, nose, thumb, hands through prayer. Exhale, over. Inhale, lengthen out the spine. Hop or walk back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up facing. Downward dog. Exhale, see your navel. Right foot steps forward. Inhale here, bringing the arms up. Or hands stay down. Exhale, chaturanga. Knees, chin, chest, or child's pose. Inhale, up facing, or cat-cow. Toes under, downward dog, exhale. So the breath is the same no matter what variations you take. Inhale, the left foot's forward, either here, come up to the fingertips, here, or all the way up. So you can pause anywhere. Come back down if you're up. Exhale, chaturanga, or child's pose. Inhale, coming up, cat-cow, or up dog from there. Downward dog, exhale. And you can do the cat-cow the whole time. Inhale, 1, 2, 4, 5. Inhale, bent knees, gaze forward, come forward and stretch. Soften over, hang, let go. Bent knees, toes to the thumb. And exhale. Let's take this one more time. Bent knees, see your toes. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, over. Inhale, out. Exhale, chaturanga or bent knees. Or cat-cow, child's pose. Inhale, stretch. Bent knees are straight, going back. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, the right leg comes forward. Either the hands stay down or come up. Exhale, back. Chaturanga or bend the knees. And round back. Inhale, upward facing or cat-cow. One comes into the next anyway. Bent knees or straight legs, toes under, stretch back, exhale, reach, left leg forward, toe, nose and thumb stretching up, or the arms stay down, and come right back down. Find your plank, exhale, chaturanga, inhale, stretch, and come all the way back, downward dog. Some people even do an extra push up there. If your hands are having trouble on the blocks, just get rid of the blocks. 2, 3, sometimes the wrist is hard on the blocks. 4, look to the navel. 5, inhale, bend, hop or walk forward. Lengthen out, long spine. Catch your big toes, bend the knees if you need to lengthen the spine. Exhale, over. Mound to the big toe, mound to the pinky toe, pressing. 3, soften the shoulders up the back. Relax. 4, relax. 5, inhale out with the heart center, soften the knees if you need to. Slide the hands all the way underneath the feet if you can. If not, just hang, dangle. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lengthen out, and soften the knees a little bit, but bring both hip bones up like 2 eyes coming up, looking straight forward. When you arrive, just bend. So keep the hips straight forward, neutral spine, and then bring the arms up, plug them in. 5 breaths. 1. Now as you take each exhale a little lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the knees bent. Walk back to plank or hop. Exhale, chaturanga or bend the knees. Inhale, up facing or cat-cow or forward. Downward dog. Exhale, see your navel. Inhale, the right foot's going to come forward and turn out the left foot. Turn out the left foot. So the hips are starting to open, and then open the hips. So lift up that left hip, open the hip here, and then start to come up to warrior. Warrior 2. Inhale. 1, so that outer foot is reaching. 2, little lift in the pelvic floor. 3, widen the sit bones. 4, 5. Turn the right palm, stretch back, and open that whole side body. I like to look down to my back heel on this, but some people like to look up, so you decide. And then stretch all the way back up. Bring the arms forward, gaze forward, stretch your palms up, pull the shoulder blades down, crease in the right hip, so you keep the length on that side body, and come down. Take the block and stretch up through the top hand. Turn the hand toward the pinky like you're screwing a light bulb toward the pinky. 3, plug the arm in. 4, on both arms. And then start to bend the knee, hand to the block, turn the left palm and stretch. Reach from the outer back foot to the pinky. 3, soften the bottom ribs. 4, inhale. 5, inhale, coming around, step back, bend the knees, and round. Exhale, child's pose. If you are doing chaturanga, upward dog, downward dogs, you can get rid of the blocks. Toes under, stretch back, look to your navel, exhale. Inhale the left foot forward, draw back the outer edge of the left hip, turn out the right foot. And then let the hips open a little bit, the right hip stacking a little bit over the left. And so you're here, stretch up, reach through the right fingers, and come up to warrior two with the left leg front. One, and just breathe here. Widen your sit bones, lift the pelvic floor, four. So it's almost as if you're trying to isometrically pull the heels away from each other. Five, turn the palm and reach back. If something feels funky, shift around, see if you can find a way to move that's a little more comfortable. Inhale, coming up, gazing straight forward, stretch up the arms, reach, and start to pull back the outer edge of the left hip, opening the left rib cage, catch the block. You can be up higher if you need to, and turn the palm and plug the arms in on both arms. 2, 3, maybe the right hip has to chase around toward the left a little bit. Feel all edges of the feet. 4, relax the feet. 5, inhale. Did we miss something? I don't think so. Exhale, bend the knee. If I miss something, just do it. Yeah, and stretch way up. 2, 3, inhale. 4, inhale. 5, inhale, coming around. Step back to to plank pose. Long spine, lengthen the tailbone. Bend the knees. Exhale, child's pose or chaturanga. That can be your chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing. Our cat-cow is fine. Toes under. Same breath, downward dog. Exhale back. Shift into the left foot. Inhale, the right leg lifts up. Open the hip a little bit. If you prefer not to do this right now, that's fine. But draw back the outer edge of the left hip. Keep opening the left side of the body. Watch the right knee come forward. Step the right knee forward. Tailbone reaches straight back. And just take a twist here, opening the right arm. Try not to drop the hips. Keep the hips up a little bit. If you're here and you want to bring the elbow across, coming to prayer, if you want to work with a bind, you can work with a bind. 3, some people like to turn the back foot out and reach over your ear, that's fine. Or just stay here. And then start to come back around. One hand on either side of the block, turn out the left foot, reach through the left foot, draw the tailbone back a little bit, and then start to come up for warrior 1. Lift the front up, draw the arms in, take the gaze up, and lift the arms up so the arms come straight up into your gaze. 2. Let the hips go a little bit. If you feel scrunchy in the hip, let the hips open. 4, inhale. Go by feeling, not by shape. Hands to prayer. And then come forward over the blocks. Draw the right edge of the hip back. Coming over the leg. Either staying here the whole time. Yep. You can come up higher on your blocks if you need to. If you're okay down here and you want to take a twist, draw the tailbone back, crown of the head straight forward. The left hand comes across, tailbone straight back as much as you can. And then the right arm comes up. You gaze from the foot to the thumb. 2, 3, 4. Feel like you have a seatbelt on your pelvis. Inhale. 5. Inhale back around. Bend the front knee. Come back to plank. Exhale, child's pose or chaturanga. Inhale, up facing or cat-cow. Downward dog. Stretch back, reach back. Shift to the right foot. And open that left hip up. Drawing back on the outer edge of the right hip. 2. The hips are open here, but try to keep your shoulders pretty square. They might tip a little bit. 4. I hope you can see my foot. Inhale. 5. Inhale. Start to bring the knee forward. toward your nose and step the foot forward. I like to keep the foot a little out, so don't overcross the legs. It makes it a little harder. And then from here, draw the tailbone straight back, long spine, and the left arm lifts up, 2. Keep breathing there, 3. You can also come around with the elbow, 4 to prayer, or open, or hook, or the hand comes down, turn out the back leg, and stretch through the fingers. A couple more breaths. And then back to center. Turn out the right foot. Let your hips open a little bit if your hips feel funky, but still draw back the outer edge of the left hip. Coming up, lift the front, lift the heart center, arms plug in, and the arms draw up. So the thumb is almost over the throat, the head's back. 2, 3, 4, one more breath. 5, hands to prayer. Come forward, straighten the front leg. You can bring the back leg in a little bit, extend out. Staying here. Wrap the hip bones towards each other, widen the sit bones. The heels are pulling apart. Or come across with the right hand and come up with the left arm. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, coming back around, and bend the front knee and step back. Bend the knees, inhale, look up, round, exhale, child's pose. Stay here a little longer now, soften. You can open the knees wider here if that feels better to you. And then start to round up, hands to the blocks, or if you don't have to use the blocks the whole time. Inhale, stretch up. A lot of times I bring them in and out. And then toes under, stretch back. Hop or walk forward. Stretch way out. Inhale, long neck. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bent knees. Sweep the arms side, forward and up. And exhale, let's step out on the left foot, just so you kind of see me. Okay, I think my head's cut off. Is that true? How can that be? Huh. How'd my head get cut? Well, anyway, so wide legs. I hope not a lot's cut off. So inhale, lift the front up, lift the chest, forward fold. Exhale, have your blocks around. Come way out to the blocks. And exhale, forward fold. You can stay up on the fingertips here if you want. 1, 3. Pull the bottom rib in a little bit. 4, 5. Now either stay here for 5 more breaths. Some people like to measure their elbows, come forward, bringing their head to the floor. And if you're working on a headstand here, you can work on a headstand here for another 5 or 6, 10 breaths. You can lift up to the elbows if you like, coming to a balance, or stay here. Just another breath or 2. You can rock your hips side to side. And if you're in a headstand, start to make your way down. And then hands to the back of the legs. Soften the knees if you need to, but go out with the chest and come up. So the hands back of the legs. Inhale the arm side. Interlock the hands as you exhale. Lift up the front. So energy up the front, down the back, cascading down the back, lifting the heart center. Lead with the hip points lead. The arms come over as you exhale. 5 breaths. 1. You can swing them side to side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now from here, slide the hands to your hips. Inhale, catch your big toes. Bend your knees if you need to. You can put your elbows to the inside of the knee. And then exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees a little bit. 2, 3. Pull down to the big toe. 4. Inhale, 5. 1. And then from here, relax a little bit more. Or just, if you're tired of hearing me tell you how to breathe, breathe the way you want to breathe. Come halfway up, hands to the back of the leg, soften the knees a little bit, and then come all the way up, exhaling. Rotating to face the right foot, shorten your stance, the hip points are straight forward, lift the front, hands up to prayer or hold your elbows. Try to start bringing the hands up to prayer. I do it all the time. Lift the front, inhale, lift straight up. Now from here, tip both hips forward to come over, both hips tip. You can come halfway, eventually chin toward the shin, 2, or let the head go, 3. Make sure you don't rock back into the back hip. You can rock forward, 4. Tendency is to sit back, get out over the leg, inhale, 5, like you're gonna stand up on it. Sometimes we'll stand up on it, but today we're not doing that. Exhale. Rotate around to the other side. All the advanced postures are the most simple postures. So don't let things that seem advanced scare you off, because they come from the most simple. Inhale, draw up the front, lift the heart, and then hinge both hips forward. Stay out over that left leg and come over. Feel the outer edge of the left hip drawing back, 2, 3, 4. If you need more challenge, you keep the pelvic floor lifted the whole practice and breathe in the back of the ribs. So you have Uddiyana Bandha, and then inhale up and come all the way up. And Mula Bandha. Mula Bandha, lifting the pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, a little more lift, and the breath happens in the back of the ribs. Now we're going to go to the wall, and I don't know if you can see me. Okay. I think so. I think that'll be okay. But whatever, you'll get the gist. So you're here, hand on the wall, feel your natural stance. I'm a little on a diagonal. Bring up the right knee, so you're here. Either stay here or reach down, catch your big toe, or extend the leg forward, 5 breaths. 1, if you've been doing this a while, chin to the shin, 2, and then you can even take your hand off the wall, 3, inhale, or here, 4. Now, lift the heart and bring the knee side, 5 more breaths. Try not to disturb the hip bones, 2, 3, or the leg can be out the side, 4, 5. Inhale back to center. The knee can be bent or straight. Hook underneath, shoulder blades back, and straighten the leg out, but pull the leg into the socket. 5 breaths, 1, inhale. 2, if you're okay here, let it go. 3, it can be low, it can be high. 4, and then inhale. 5, bend the knee in, and exhale, bring it down. Good. And then come around to the other side. And you want to just kind of dance into your stance. You can jump around a little bit and jump into your feet. You might look down, they might be a little turned out. That might be more of your natural stance instead of a ramrod parallel. My therapeutics teacher, he would make us keep our feet really in line with the way our natural, the way the thigh bones fell out of the sockets naturally. So inhale, come up with the left knee, find your balance. You can hold the knee, I'm falling over. Or you can hold the big toe, so you're here. And then you can extend if you like. 1, 2, 3, over the leg if you're working on that. 4, feel free to keep the knee bent. You're trying to keep your shoulders square and your hips square as much as you can. 5, it's Tadasana. Bring the leg side, 1. You can turn your head over the right shoulder if you've been working on this. 3, inhale, 4, inhale, 5. Eventually the breath is very smooth. Inhale, center, hand underneath, point. 1, 2, 3. Remember, it can be low. 4, inhale. 1 more breath. Bend the knee in and come down and come back around. I'm turning side and side so you can see me. Have your blocks around. Inhale, up with the right leg. So you bring the right leg up and drop the knee down. So you're just stretching the knee here. If that's too much for you, keep the foot to the inside of the leg, working on tree. But if you can stretch the knee just here. If you've been working on this, you reach around, hold the foot so you're in half lotus, and you come down forward folding. 4,
One more breath. Now from here, same foot on top, slide the knee down, have your blocks there, so that your knee is, your ankle is across the knee. Stick your bottom out and lower down a little bit. And try to keep the hips fairly square, breathing here. Some of you guys might want to put the arms down and take an arm balance here. So you come down and you rest your knees on the upper arm bone. Let the neck stretch, let the hip stretch. Now come up a little bit. Have your blocks nearby. Lift the chest, bring the leg in and stretch it back. Come up to the fingertips. Feel the outer edge of the left hip, point the foot, draw the navel up. If you're okay here, one arm out, the other arm out. Whee! Yeah. If you're okay there, turn the palms up, stretch forward. Oh, it's hard coming off the block. One more breath. And then bring the knee in, soften your knees, forward fold. Soften the knees, shake your lips out. Let go, bend the knees and roll up. Roll the upper arm bones back. And it's hard doing this and talking. Not very meditative. Inhale up with the left knee, either tree or foot across. Exhale it down. Reach around with the hand if you're reaching around, or you can hold the forearm fibrous. You're interspiraling the legs even though this left leg, front leg is turned out. Yeah, if you went down, you go down. Now from here, if your foot's in tree, you just bring it across. If it's up in half lotus, just slide it down. The ankle comes above the knee. Stick your bottom out. Have your blocks nearby. I'm turning side to side so you can see me, but you don't have to do all that. And just extend the spine here, and then you can let your head go a little bit. This is nice to do with your arms up on a wall. I don't have a wall. If I did the wall, you wouldn't see it. But you can keep the torso extended. Oops, up the wall. Now from here, lift up a little bit. You can come up the fingertips if you need to. Slide the foot down. Bring the legs in and extend back. Parallel legs. Lift the navel. Point the foot. Draw the outer right hip back. One arm side, the other arm side if you like. Turn the palms up, stretch. And then come back down. Bring the feet back in. And soften over. Let your head go. Now from here, let your knees bend and come all the way down. If it's a lot in your knees, have the soles of the feet together. You can turn them out and you can stay up so that the hips are high and the feet are turned out. If you're okay coming down, come all the way down. So you're working a malasana. And stretch the arms forward. Hug the ankle bones in towards each other. So even though the legs are turning out, you squeeze the shins in. Relax the shoulder and neck. Either stay here or slide the elbows in. And lift your bottom up, keeping the knees on the upper arm there. Draw the navel up, puff the spine up to the ceiling. Either stay here or bring the feet up, lifting way up, which I'm not really doing. Stretch up, 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 up. Or just stay here the whole time. Now from here, one more breath. And then start to release back and come all the way back, bringing the feet forward for diamond pose. Inhale, stretch up the chest. Exhale, forward fold, reaching back to the outer edges of the hips. And just breathe here, about 10 breaths. Breathing to the back body. On your next breath, lead out with the heart center, but pull back in the hips so that The balance is equal forward and backs. Extend the legs forward. Roll the inner thighs back. Lift up the chest. Bend the knees if you need to. And we're going to forward fold, coming over, taking the outer feet. The feet can be as wide as the hips. And then come over, about 10 breaths. If you need to let it just hang, let it hang. You can draw the feet back, the pinky toe back. Some people will interlock their hands around. So you're extending out. The heart center is looking at your toes. Inhale, lengthening out with the spine. Exhaling up. And slide the hands back. Lift the heart center. Lift the hips if you can. If not, don't do it. You can also do table if I press 2, 4, 5. Table's fine there as well. We're going to inhale the right leg up. I'm going to turn the other way so you can see me. The right leg lifts up, and we're going to bring the knee all the way across. So it's like what we did standing a minute ago. You can also take the foot into half lotus. Actually, we'll do that in a minute. Feel the outer hips drawing back and stretch forward, about 5 or 10 breaths. If you're holding your foot, you can lift the elbows up and extend the side bodies forward, extending the sides of the ribs. About 10 more breaths here, or lift up and just bring the foot across to half lotus. If you're working with the arm, you bring the right arm around and just breathe there over the leg, or stay right where you were, 10 breaths. You can also let the arms go. Inhale, lengthening out with the spine. And lift the knee up and across, toes pointing forward, hug the knee in, hug that right knee in, and twist around. Yeah, you can bring the elbow across or hold the shin or hand across the hip. Now stay with your torso twisting to the right and just bring the knee across the right knee and continue to twist in that direction. Let your head go and sweep across the right arm and just breathe here. The left hand coming across the thigh, or you can support the head too. Hand can come behind if you need to. 3. I'm going to reach it forward. 4, 5, 6. If you need to be higher up, you can keep the hand behind. 8. Now from here, come up a little bit, drop the right hand down, stretch the finger side, open the neck, relax, and then reach down through the fingers to come up, and we're going to pick up the right knee and step it forward so the toes are in the same direction of the other leg. The right hip can lift and just hang to the inside of the leg. Yeah, so the foot's back pretty far. If you're hanging here and your arm comes around, you can reach the arm around, you can hook the other hand, and you can come softly over the leg for another 10 breaths, or just hang. I like to hang, so your left hand can support you. You can reach out with the right. Scan, notice if you're holding. And then inhale, start to come back up. And slide the right foot to the inside of the left calf. Hands back, lift the chest, press down through the right foot. either stay here or lift the hips, pressing down through the bottom foot. If you need a little more work here, you can lift up the left leg. And you don't have to lift up at all. You can stay down the whole time, pressing through the foot. And then come back to center. Let's bring the right leg side and the left knee up and across. I'm just turning side to side so you can see me. So any way that you want to do this. So left knee on top, hook the thighs and start to come forward, soften forward, and just breathe. Try not to come out of the breath even though I'm talking. You can flex the foot back if you like. Let the breath come down to the lower part of the lungs. That will help you breathe into the back of the body. And you can extend out, coming up. Either stay here or bring the foot across to half lotus. If you're working there, you can reach around with the right hand. You hold the foot. I don't know if you can see that. And then you come forward again. Or you can let the arms hang or keep the knee across. Another 10 breaths here, 2. And so maybe you're still here. That's fine. 3, 4. And on your next breath, start to make your way up and let the foot come across. So the toes point in the same direction, come across with the opposite arm, right arm, and then take your twist. If something feels funky, keep your mind open and see if you can work with it. Maybe you let the knee go out a little to the side, maybe it needs to come across more, and just breathe there. Rolling down the outer edge of the left hip or the front hip. Breathing through the back of the ribs. Coming back to center, lifting the knee up and bringing it out to the side. Fluff up your sit bones if they're in the way. You want to be forward on the sit bones, leading over to the right side, sweeping across with the left arm. Support the head if you need to. Put the arm wherever you want. The arm can come across. Breathe fully through the sides of the ribs. You can always be up a little higher. Now inhale, start to come up and reach the arm side. You can come up a little higher for this. Roll the shoulder blade down, pour energy down through that opposite sit bone, and then start to come all the way up, picking up the knee that's bent, bringing it around. Call this half a squat. It's really called Marichasana A. So it's kind of like half a squat. The hip can come up and hang forward or reach forward. Breathe. The hip can be up a little bit. If you're okay, hooking around, hook around, and come forward. 2, 3. Equal energy back and forward. 4, 5. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, the foot comes into the mid-calf. Inhale, lift the chest or the hips or both. Bring up the bottom leg if you did. 5 breaths. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 5. Coming down, we're going to bring the right leg over the left or in front of the left. Right leg over or in front. And then hook the outer hips back, coming forward. Stretch way out or hang. 5. Let's take just 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3,
walking the hands to the left, and 5 more breaths here. 1, or all the way over. You can be up higher. Look at that belly. Breathe into the ribs. You can always stay forward on these. Open the chest side. Still leaning to the left, open the chest. And reach across the right arm, let the gaze drop down too. You can always put a block under your elbow here. Drop the palm, open the chest, stretch out the fingers, roll the shoulder blade down, soften. Always go back to softening. You'll notice you can harden up really easily and then come up, at least I can. Now as you come up this time, we're going to pick up the leg that's either in front or on top, step it over the knee, and come around to take wide downward dog, our wide legs, call it square dog. So the arms and legs are about in the same width. Soften here, breathe, relax the outer feet. You can let the arms go. It's just a transition. We're going to continue here to bend the knees, walk your hands to the left, and come all the way down to sit. And now we'll have the other leg on top. We'll have the left leg on top. Now if that transition's weird, just do whatever you got to do to get to the other side. And that shin stacks in front or on top. Hook and come forward. 5 breaths here. 1. 5 more breaths here, or walk the hands over to the side for 5 breaths to the side. Two. You can come a little more around. Now from here, open out to the right side, opening the chest, and sweep across the left arm. And again, your elbow can be up. I like to take my gaze down on this one, but you can gaze any way you want. Breathe into the side of the ribs, back of the body. Dropping the hand to your lap. Pour into both sit bones as you reach the finger side, open the neck, reach, and then come all the way back up. And we're going to step across the leg that's in front over the knee and come around and flip around so that your legs are wide again, and just come in and dangle. Take about 5 breaths too. So in yin yoga, we'd be less engaged and we'd hold the postures much longer for. In a moving practice, we want to stay with the breath. Now from here, start to bend your knees. You can bring your elbows to your knees, extending out the spine. If it's a lot in the knees and you have a knee issue, just stay up here or put blocks underneath your hips and then come down to squat. You can sit up on your block if you like. Now either stay here or let your arms go. About 5 breaths. You can even hold the elbows. Now either continue here. If you are working on variations, you lift up, walk your shoulders back, and plant your hands. You can just stay here for another 5 breaths. If you're okay here, you cross the ankles. Or just stay right where you are squatting. If you're here and you've been working on this, you extend the legs out and lift up the back, or just stay and you're squatting. It's really the same. One's a little more engaged, that's all. Now, one more breath. And start to, if your legs are up, bring them back in. Any way you can, come down to sit. You know, so any way you can. And then bring the soles of the feet in. If your knees are funky and you need to stretch your legs out first, you can. But soles of the feet together. Inner thighs go back. Sit up on a block or bolster if you need to, but turn the feet up. Inhale, lift the heart center up and soften down through your sit bones. So it's both. It's always both. And then start to come out with the heart center. Inhale into the back of the ribs. Exhale, ride the breath down. 1, 5 breaths. 2. Eventually, your chin comes out to the floor. 4. Or you just hold the hands. Don't have an idea. Remember, let go of preconceived notions about your path or about how the asana is supposed to be, about how anything's supposed to be, especially now. It's good practice. You can come up on a block here and breathe. Soften through the whole kidney area. Relax the buttocks. 1 more breath. Now from here, start to come back up. And as you come up, we're going to take your big toes, first 2 fingers around the big toes, lean back a little bit, squeeze the knees in, but keep lifting up your back and come up and see if you can bring your legs parallel. Keep lifting the back here. Yeah, and then release the hands to the knees. Push your knees out on your hands. Spread the toes. 5 breaths. 1, push the knees out, push the hands in. 2. If you've been doing this a while, Navasana, you take the legs up and arms here. 3. Inhale. 4. Any way you do it, it's not easy. Inhale. 5. Inhale now. Cross at the shin and squeeze your legs in. So it's like Garbha Pindasana that we do on our back sometimes. Squeeze the shins in and push down on the floor. Squeeze the shins in and push down on the floor. Some of you are going to lift. I can barely lift. I've been doing this for hundreds of years and I can barely lift. Come back. Find your back. Shoulder blades draw down. 5 breaths. 1. Inhale. 2. 3 are up. 4. Inhale. 5. Cross the other shin on top. Squeeze in and push and come down. And again. 1. Find your back. This is important. 2. Upper arm bones are in. 3. 4. Inhale. 5. Squeeze in and push and come down. Last time. Find your back. And this is important. I know I said that already. Press the mound of the big toe together. 1. 4. 5. Inhale. You want to alternate the shins each time. Push and come down. Widen the feet. Drop the knees to the right. And come up. So the feet are pretty wide. Drop them to the left. Let your hip go with you. It's just a little twist. And up. And drop. You can let your head go in the opposite direction. And come up. And flop. Go as fast or slow as you want with these. And then come up. Now one more time. Flop over to the right. Release the left hand and reach all the way around toward the right shoulder. So you're twisting. Look back to the foot. Pause. And then come back through center. Lean back on the hands. You keep the lumbar curve. Drop to the left. Sweep the right hand around. Reach, reach, reach. Keep your eyeballs reaching. Keep looking around. And one more time. Come back to center. Flop and reach and go. Reaching around. And come back to center. And flop and reach around. Reach, reach, reach. And then come back to center and widen your feet out to the side. Inner thighs back. If you're doing this and you want to do your own thing, you can go to the wall and open your legs. You can slow it way down, make it more of a yin practice. Even though it's more of a moving practice, you want to keep that yin quality. It's really important to stay relaxed when things get heated up, just like now. And you can breathe here. If you've been doing this a while, you hold the outer feet and you roll the outer edges of your hips down and you come forward so it's extended. The legs are very strong. 3, 4, shoulder blades will pull down. Inhale. 5, or you can just rest here. Inhale, start to come back up.
Draw the legs in and come all the way over to your all fours. You can bring the blocks back in here if you want. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale, round, softening back towards child's pose. Inhale, rounding up, look to your navel. Move through cat-cow, either stay in cat-cow here or up facing, stretch. Look to your navel, straight legs or bent, coming back, downward dog, exhale back. Inhale the right leg up, open the hip a little bit, feel the outer edge of the left, and watch the knee come forward, step forward any way you can, lowering the left knee down. One hand on either side of the foot. If you prefer to come into the center, you can come into the center with the hands, coming onto your block. If you're okay here and you want to turn the form across so it's parallel to the front of your mat, draw the foot in, you can take a twist with it if you like. Now from here we're going to release the back foot. Maybe you didn't take the foot in, that's fine. And then start to walk your hands around to the left. I'm bringing a block with me. It's a good idea to have the blocks just kind of laying around. And stretch the right leg out, left arm, right leg there, right arm across. So you're here. And just breathe, open the chest. I really like to do this one up a little higher, but everyone's different. You can even come up onto your fingertips. The bottom leg's a little turned out, the knee that you're on. Now just stay here another breath or two. If you're okay with side plank, you can go into side plank, but bring the right toes forward. Stretch up the right arm. So either stay here for a modified side plank. If you're okay here, lift the hips and slide the bottom leg under. The knee will be bent initially, and then slide the top foot on top, and just stretch up. Or just stay right here and lift, and then start to come back around with the right arm and bring the knees together, tuck the toes, downward dog. Reach back, stretch back, push back into both feet, both hands, try to even it out, then the knees, inhale, gaze up and round, come up to the fingertips, puff way up to the ceiling, look to your navel, child's pose. And then start to round up. You look to your navel on the way up, drop the palms forward an inch or two, cat-cow. Bring the heart center forward, lead with the heart if you're okay coming forward. Come forward, stretch. Look to your navel, toes under, downward dog. Inhale, the left leg comes up this time. Feel the outer edge of the right hip drawing back. And then watch that left knee step forward. You can use your hand there, you might have to. And then come down. You might have to tuck the right knee under and chug it back. And just breathe here. One hand on either side. If you brought your block in, you can come onto the block, turning the left foot out a little bit. If you turned out the bottom forearm, you can turn out the bottom forearm, bending the back knee, reaching around opposite hand to foot, opening the chest for a little twist if you like, or just stay here. You can even do a little twist without the foot, or just stay centered. I like staying centered myself. And then start to lift up, walking your hands to the right. Keep going to the right. Grab your block if you need it. Hand on the block. Open the hips. Everything's in line. Wrist, knee, and ankle pretty much on the same plane. Open the chest and sweep across. Direct the breath into any tightness, into the back body, lower lobes of the lungs. Now either stay here for a few more breaths
or bring the hand down, stretch up through the left hand, roll both shoulder blades down. Either stay here or point the toes forward on that straight leg. Lift up, slide the other foot down, the knee will be bent at first, and then you lift the other foot on top and stretch up. 2, 3, 4, inhale 5, or stay right here. All right, if you're up, come down and come all the way around and back to all fours. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, round, come back up to child's pose and stretch the arms forward and just breathe here. If you want to bend your elbows, you can bend your elbows. If you want to come back to prayer arms, like we did in the very beginning, that's always nice. Now from here, easy does it. Stretch the arms forward. Start to come up and adjust onto your all fours again. One more time. Inhale. Sink between the shoulder blades. Exhale. Look to your navel. Way up to the fingertips. Pause. Puff up. Reach back a little bit. Round back up. Walk your hands forward about 2 or 3 inches. Sink between the shoulder blades. Lead with the heart coming forward. And then tuck your toes and chug the thighs back a little bit. And then start to come down, pulling the bottom ribs forward, 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 coming up to Sphinx pose for a couple breaths. Soften the head, sink between the shoulder blades. Now from here, let your head start to lift and then come down, but pull the bottom ribs forward a little bit, and then one hand and the other hand back, kind of by the bottom rib, and turn your head to the right, lowering coming down on the left cheek. So you'll feel a little maybe tightness in the neck. So it's for the neck here a lot of this right now, what we're doing. And then inhale, come up center, plug the arms in a little bit. Try not to tip your chin up too much, long neck. Turn your head over to the left. Come down onto the right cheek. Center, lift. Turn your head to the right, down to the left cheek. Center. Turn your head over to the right cheek. One more time. And up through center. Turn your head right to the left cheek. Now we're going to add the leg, so we're going to come up, lift the left leg up. Turn your head left and lower to the right cheek. Lift the head up, lift the right leg up. Turn your head to the right and lower down. Come up through center, lifting the left leg. Turn your head left and lower down. And one more time. And lift up center, lift the right leg. Turn your head left and lower down. Now one more time, come back to center. And lift the chest, slide your hands back, spread your fingers, press your fingernails to the floor, and roll the upper arm bones back. So this is Shalabhasana. And then lift the legs up a little bit. Lift the navel, lengthen the tail. You won't need to do a lot right here. If you're okay here, bend the knees and pulse the heels up, pressing the heels together. 4, 5. If you don't want to do this part, keep the legs straight. You can even keep the legs down. 6, 7, 8. Now either stay here or reach back, take your shins, turn the legs parallel, and draw the shins up so you're on the rib cage. You're on the bottom rib and the hip bone. 2 more breaths. Drop the head a little bit. And then release the knees and hands under the forehead, widen the legs, bend the knees up. And you'll feel a lot in the back if you're not used to back bending. But drop the knees to the right. Let your hips come off the floor. And then come up center. Drop the feet to the other side, over to the left. Let go enough so the hips, maybe you're coming off. So you're twisting. And then up and over to the right again. And then up and drop them over again. Back to center. Bring the legs back. Tuck the toes. Stretch your legs back. Tuck and stretch. Lift the navel in and up and pull your tailbone down. Pull your tailbone down between your heels. So you're tucking the toes. You're pulling the tailbone down between your heels and your navel in and up. And then hands by the ribs. Lift up and walk your knees in. Cross the ankles. Yeah. Walk the fingers in. Now just from here, go really slow because your back's been back bending. Pull the tailbone down a little bit. So the tailbone starts to pull down. It's almost like you're trying to stand up with the shoulders over the hips. And puff up through the upper back. Keep puffing up. Pull the tailbone down. Pull it down. Pull it down. Pull it down. And then come back to sit. Maybe you have to swing your legs out. And bring the... I don't like all this bandage stuff. Bring your legs forward, lift up the back, inhale, stretch up. Then from here, exhale, start to roll down. Tailbone, low back, middle back. The arms come over your head, natural, neutral spine. Inhale all the way to the lower lung, all the way to the lower lobe of the lung. Inhale to come up. That makes a huge difference. Exhale, hang over your knees. Inhale, coming up. So you're trying to breathe to the bottom part of the lung. Exhale, roll back. That affects your psoas, believe it or not. Inhale, breathe all the way into the back of the ribs. Coming up. Exhale, over. Twice more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Neutral spine, back the ribs. Inhale. To come up. Exhale, over. You can do this with straight legs if you like. Inhale. Exhale, back. What makes it work is the breath. Inhale, back of the ribs. I just figured that out. Exhale, over. Or keep the knees bent the whole time. Inhale up last time. Or maybe the knees are bent. Exhale, roll down. If they're not bent, bend them, bring them in. Cross the ankles, one ankle over the other. Reach around, hold your feet, and let your back stretch here. So this is kind of like Garbha Pindasana in the womb. So your legs are crossed, and to soften all the bones into the floor. And change ankles. You can hold the ankles or toes. Some people like to cross at the shin. So the sky's the limit. If it's a little funky, shift. Relax with the back of the throat. Let gravity hold the body. Now from here, I don't know what leg you have on top, but we're going to keep the right knee up. Bring the left foot down and extend the right leg up. Now you can hold the back of the leg. Some people will hook the big toe here. And you can keep the left knee bent, but if you can extend it 5 breaths. 1. Some people will work with bringing the chin to the shin. 2. Keep a neutral spine, but the navel in and up. 4. Inhale. 5. Now roll the shoulder blades back and start to take the leg side. If you need to bend the knee and support the hand under the knee and hold the knee up toward the armpit a little bit, you can. Or you can extend it out. Some people will do a split here, like kind of a split with one arm over, one arm back. You can also turn your head in the opposite direction of the leg, opening the neck. And then start to come back to center. If it's up, bend it in. And then bring the other knee up. Give it a little hug, maybe rock a little bit. Drop the right foot down, extend the left leg up. If you need a strap, or just hold the back of the leg. Or hook the big toe, head to shin. If you're working, try to reach down to the outer edge of the left hip. You can extend the leg. Relax. Just, you want to keep your mind so open that when something arises that you don't, it's not serving you, some tension or maybe a thought that's kind of funky, you just notice it. So you're, again, you come back to being the silent watcher. And then start to bring the leg side. You can turn your head to the right. You can just hug the knee up if you prefer. And then start to bring the leg back up. And bend the knee in. Bring the other knee up. Give it a little hug. And then open the knees wider than your sit bones. So the heels are wider than your sit bones. Drop both knees over to the right. Wiggle back the left foot. So you want to have the left knee underneath the left hip underneath the left shoulder, and left arm right over your head. Elbow bent. You can pull it across a little bit to open the ribs. And you can turn your head to the right if you like. I like turning my head to the right, but maybe you don't. The arm can be more out to the side as well to open up the meridians along the chest there. Relax. If you want to bring the foot across, you can bring the right foot across. And then from here, just start to bring the left knee up toward the right a little bit to come back up, to ease it up. And then widen your feet again. Maybe scoop the tail a little bit, dropping the knees to the left. The right knee goes down under the hip. Knee, hip, right shoulder, right arm up. The elbow bends, drapes across. You can turn your head to the left. The foot can come across if you like that. Now, one more breath here. If you're on your own, you want to do these longer, by all means. Now we're just going to slide the right knee a little bit toward the left just to make it easier to come up. Bring the feet flat, scoop the tail a little bit. Heels are just about aligned with the sit bones, or maybe a little wider. Find your natural stance. Extend the arms, palms face each other. Breathe a nice inhale into the back lobe of the lungs. Inhale. Exhale, roll the hips up. Interlock the hands as you inhale. Tip the chin back. Chest is coming toward the chin. Bend the elbows and drop the pubic bone down a little bit. Press the upper arm into the floor and tip the chin back. 5 breaths here. If you're okay with wheel, the hands come to the floor, top of the head, and then you come straight up. 2, 3, 4, inhale. 5, and you come right back down. Roll the spine down. Palms up overhead. 3 breaths here. Just relax. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Back of the ribs. Exhale, roll up. Interlock the hands. Inhale, tipping the chin back. Exhale, bend the elbows, press the upper arm down, drop the pubic bone. Inhale, up to wheel, or stay in bridge. 2, 5 breaths. 4, 6, or whatever. And then start to come down. Rest the arms back again. Let go. 2, let everything go. 3, one more time. Inhale, breathe into the back. Exhale, reach the knees forward. interlock. As you inhale, tip the chin back. As you exhale, bend the elbows, drop the pubic bone, push down, engage the upper back. 2, 3, inhale 4, inhale 5, and then start to lower down. Reach around, have your block nearby if you want to use it, and bring the knees in, knees out to the side. Let the back rest there. If you want to take bug here, you can take bug, drawing the tailbone down a little bit, the sit bones reaching to the floor. So you try to, even that you think of neutral spine wherever you go. From here, start to bring the knees in, and if you want to use a block here, bring the block underneath your hips so that the sacrum's flat on the block and the lace comes straight up. You can do the same thing with your arms, rolling the upper arm bones underneath, tipping the chin back. So the same preparation that you do for your wheels or your bridge is the same preparation for shoulder stand. So the upper arm bones are on the back, the chin is tipped back a little bit. You have a neutral cervical spine there, and the C7 isn't even touching. And you can stay here the whole time, or you can press down to the upper arm bones and come up towards shoulder stand, if that's in your practice. But it's the same thing. The upper arms are pressing down, the chin is tipping back. Relax the face. Now you can stay here or bring the legs back toward plow, interlocking the hands, the block's there my way, for about 5 or 10 breaths, or point the feet for here, about 5 or 10 breaths. The hands can stay on your back. If you're here, if your hips were on the block here, you can also bring the legs, you have to push the block out a little bit, you can bring the legs over and work on snail pose, which is just you're up on the upper back and you're still opening through the back of the legs. You can roll off the block a little bit. It's really nice. We do this in yin quite often. If you're all the way back into plow and you want to drop your ears, knees by the ears, you can. This is called snail in yin. And if you're down in snail, stay here. And you can bend the knees and open the knee side if you like. Or just stay here. A lot of times, honestly, I mostly just stay here. And then after a few more breaths here, start to roll down. And let's just bring the soles of the feet together, roll the upper arm bones back so you're here. Now, you have the option of just resting the hands on the pelvis. If it's in your practice to work on fish pose, you bring the elbows down, roll the upper arm bones down, and come to the top of the head, and you push down through the elbow, lifting the chest. If you're okay there, you can bring the knees together and lift the tippy toes off the floor. So you have your lumbar curve, your cervical curve, very little weight on your head. If you're okay there, you can extend. 2, 3, 4, inhale 5. Or you can stay the whole time just resting, which I do all the time, here. And if you were in fish pose, come on down, roll the upper arm bones back, and starting with the legs apart like this, just flop the left leg across the right, slide the left ankle to the inside of the right knee, and open the left arm side for a soft twist. You can turn your head to the right. And just about another 10 breaths here. You can just stay here in the twist. If you want to hook the right arm under the right knee, what does that mean? The left knee. You can bring the knee up a little closer to the chest if you like. And then slide the leg down, open the knees, pause. Try to find pause in everything that you do, or when you think of it. And then drop the right knee across, slide the ankle to the inside of the left knee, left hand comes across, right arm out to the side. I like to turn my head away from the shoulder, but honestly, you can do anything you want, whatever. So you start to honor your own insights. We often wait for people to tell us what to do, and you can really tell now when the schedules are gone and things are really changing. Become ungrounded, and actually becoming ungrounded is not a bad thing. Most things are ungrounded and changing and moving. Sometimes we cause a lot more stress by trying to get grounded. Now start to bring the knee up toward the chest. If you did so, you can hook the left arm under and give it a hug up there if you like. Breathe fully into the back. And then start to soften. One more time, just one more thing here, bring the knees up and interlock the hands around the knees, the shins or the ankles, or wherever, or hold the knees, or just rest your hands, and just see how much you can release your body into the floor. Let your bones soften to the floor. You can open your mouth real big here, and look up into the eyebrows. And you stick your tongue out too. And then release the face. And one more time, open your mouth real big, look up into the eyebrows, maybe stick out your tongue, And relax the face and the eyes. And then bring the knees, feet down, knees knocked in. Take a few breaths here. Now continue here in Shavasana. You can keep your hands rested here or extend the legs out. Arms down by your side, roll the shoulder blades under for a few more breaths here. Let everything sink into the floor. And so when you do your Shavasana, you want to hold this about 5 or 7 minutes, or 10 minutes. Now stay here a little longer. I'm going to come up and conclude class. Please stay longer in Shavasana, as long as you possibly can, to let your nervous system really settle. Namaste. Notice your thoughts. Awareness is freedom from non-essential self-limiting thoughts. So the first thing always is to come into awareness. Sometimes you can't do a doggone thing about it. Sometimes you can. So if you can't, let yourself off the hook. If you can, let yourself off the hook, let somebody else off the hook. Namaste, practicing compassion inwardly and practicing compassion outwardly. No matter what the situation is, stay there in Shavasana.